I trade like a woodpecker or a hummingbird. I go in and I grab it and then I run off.
On to the next
uh,
flower.
yeah, it's just I don't know. We could have a whole show on why I do what I do. I'm not even certain I know why I do what I do. I think it's just because I'm I made my living from the market. So I was always looking for what was moving for years and years and years. If it wasn't moving, I didn't have time for it, right or wrong. That's how I traded. And
You're like, I've got to eat,
yeah, it's either a bad habit or a good habit. Sometimes it's a terrible habit. In 2017, it cost me a bloody fortune because I was constantly taking them off and everything was going up and everybody around me was getting rich. And it was hard to stomach, because all my colleagues and everyone else they're sitting and sitting and sitting and I'm, taking them off. So, but it sure helps me in other years. So I am who I am. Is that what Popeye says?
I am what I am. Yes.
I
Uh-huh.
so I have just gotten comfortable with being who I am, and I sometimes I feel, Charles Harris tells great stories, about how uh, he's both proud and embarrassed of his long-term track record. I love that. That's such a perfect saying, and that's how I feel. I'm both proud and embarrassed of the way. I mean, look at my trading in Nvidia. I took 5 points, and it's already would be 12. So it's just,
10.
but
I'm just kidding.
yeah, 5 now. But I just do better doing that. It's just I'm just stacking on gains, and I can, if I'm not gonna. I don't know how I want to say this, but my gains are my percentage gains are good, so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
They should be
Finding a style
better.
that works for
They
you, right?
should be better. I should be a lot larger, but they're better. They're better than the market by a lot.
Yeah.
So I just live with it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have a hummingbird feeder in my backyard, and there's two, they always battle each other. And I don't know. I was gonna name them Bull and Bear, but maybe I'll name one of them Scott. I don't know.
And I stole that from somebody. I read that in a book somewhere. He says, I trade like a hummingbird feeds, a hummingbird will never get fat like a pigeon, but it'll also never get caught by a hawk or something, right? Like a pigeon might. So you take the good and the bad with all the styles.
Yeah. I'll have to, my husband took a really great video of these two. They almost look like fighter jets, these two hummingbirds. It was crazy. I'll have to post it on Twitter. Anyway, Dave, let's go to you and ANET. This one's bouncing off of a key level. What do you think about the action?
That's definitely encouraging for ANET holders. I mean, it's kind of doing what it's been doing for a while, just challenging people below the 50-day or near the 200-day, and then making a nice move, and then coming down to force people like someone like myself who would try to buy on the breakout to have to cover. So, overall, I think this is really not a great entry, partly because we have this market in a correction. To normally the buys off the 50-day are only when you already have a 5, 10, 15, 20% gain or more from a primary breakout level. So, if we have the breakout around 175, 178, that 50-day moving average really hasn't made a lot of progress. So I would just be watching. I think this is a great company without question. They've been eating Cisco's lunch for years, and the CEO of Cisco's I think has ranted about how Arista has done this or that, and I think they've been in court several times before. So obviously there's something really good happening at Arista, and just keep it on the watch list now.
What are your thoughts, Dave, on some of the leaders in software or artificial intelligence, that sort of related theme here? Any of them standing out to you in terms of the watch list?
It's a great question. Let's look at AI, for instance. This was the kind of stock that I think Hummingbird traders got a lot of
Yeah.
nectar, right? Yeah, you know, it's pretty crazy when you see a stock that can go up 30% in 3 days, and that's exactly what happened in May. Palantir was kind of similar to that, and now, well, we stick with AI here. You know, don't be fooled by that 94 relative strength rating, because that's a 12-month rating, and fortunately, it's one of the best things I think that's been added to Marcus Smith lately was that 3-month and 6-month RS rating. I wouldn't be surprised if AI's 3-month rating is, you know, in the single digits. So, you know, these stocks sometimes get support at that, you know, key moving average like a 200-day, and sometimes they don't. And you just have to just keep reading, keep watching, see which stocks the market filters out as going to be the longer term winners. So, you know, in my humble opinion, the current cream of the crop obviously revolves around NVIDIA. We already talked about that. So let's go to Microsoft, MSFT. You know, that this one to me is kind of similar to what NVIDIA is doing. Nice run in 2023. Now it's trying to base. Let's also look at ServiceNow, NOW. I found it interesting how the CEOs of both ServiceNow and NVIDIA appeared for, you know, a PR session on CNBC not too long ago, and how ServiceNow is really touting the use of NVIDIA-powered AI for its businesses. So, you know, this one would be more of an application of AI. And then maybe another one to look at would be probably, let's see. I think we have one on, oh yeah, Marvell, MRVL. This one was being touted as a key player because their data center chips evidently are just help really speed up networks. But you can see now this is under pressure too, as you know, people get a little more sober about the idea of investing, you know, in that AI area. So I'll take a look at the IBD 50 as well, Ali, and see if any other names pop out. But you know, off the top of my head, those are some of the ones. Maybe Amazon too, because they have such a big role in the data center, and so does Google, GOOGL. But you know, these are companies that already, you know, joined the $1 trillion club in terms of market cap, just like Tesla and Nvidia and Microsoft. So you know, these are probably not going to make you as rich as quickly as you know 100 successful Hummingbird trades, but you know, ones to watch for sure.